先発の山本由伸投手25は150キロ台後半の直球を軸に7回を2安打2四球7奪三振の好投。ヤンキースが誇るスラッガーのジャッジスタントンに真っ向勝負を挑んだ。そんな好投を見せた山本由伸選手を詳しく解説している番組がありましたので、今回はそちらの翻訳をお届けいたします。それではご覧ください。
My opening comment is what a night at Yankee Stadium. I mean, obviously, if you're the Yankees, you hate to lose this game. But what an atmosphere. We talked in our pregame show. Maybe these two teams are going to hook up in the playoffs. I really hope so because they're so evenly matched. There was so much intensity here. The crowd was into it. There are plenty of Dodgers fans. Yamamoto was better than I expected him to be. Cody Petit was awesome, did exactly what he was supposed to do. It was a battle of the bullpens. Yankees lose it, but what a great game.
Fantastic game. I echo everything that you said. It was a classic pitcher's duel. Back in the pregame show, we showed pictures of Whitey Ford and Sandy Koufax. They would have been proud of this game. They would have pitched a lot longer than the starters did today. But on a night where there were so many great pitches, this game was decided in the 11th inning because of a pitch that wasn't great. Ian Hamilton got ahead of Teoscar Hernandez with a couple of good sliders, but then he went middle with a slider. Hernandez hits a 2-run double. And when the Dodgers scored there, guys, that was the first time all night the Dodgers even had a runner get to third base. We might also add the Yankees didn't have one get to third base until the 8th inning, but it was that kind of classic night, back and forth, a terrific game.
So let's dig into this pitchers matchup, and we'll talk about Yoshinobu Yamamoto starting first, making his 13th start of the season. It is our pitching decisions presented by Sage, and from the outset, Flash, you could tell that it was going to be a challenge for the Yankees hitters.
You know what, Bob? What impressed me the most about Yamamoto was probably his fastball and the life on his fastball. I was expecting a lot of split fingers. We talked about the curveball in the pregame, but he was throwing fastball sliders more than I expected. But I think for me, it was the life on the fastball that a lot of the Yankee hitters were late on it. I noticed it right away early in the game. He was throwing hard late in the game. So for me, it was fastball slider more than the curveball split.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he threw one poor splitter all evening, and Judge hit it for a double, so I don't think he used the splitter as much after that. He got the outs when he needed them, like that double play that we're showing you right there. He hugs Roberts after a 106-pitch outing, which was a season high for him. And I was thoroughly impressed with his poise, his demeanor, and his stuff. And Flash, I think the reason we saw that version of him tonight that you just described is because he's smart enough to know, hey, this is what's working for me tonight. The curveball, as Coney said on our pregame, not a pitch that maybe he has a ton of comfort with. Snuck in a few sliders there that got him some outs, but the fastball was chief for him tonight.
Yeah, and I think when you're a pitcher and a catcher and you're watching your fastball, not how the radar gun is lighting up, you're watching hitters, and the Yankee hitters were late on the heater early in this game. So, Jack, to your point, Yamamoto just said, I'm going to keep throwing this thing, establish it, and then later in the game, I think the slider and the split were more of a factor. But for me, I was very impressed with his fastball and the life on it.
So he throws up zeros on the scoreboard for the Yankees, 7 innings against the Yankees. And then Cody Petit goes 4 2/3, just his 3rd start of the season for the Yankees. But we went into this one, Jack, knowing that he'd allowed just 3 earned runs in his first 2 starts. And again, did a nice job, honestly, especially with the top 3 in the lineup for the Dodgers, too.
Yeah, the top 3 in the lineup for the Dodgers were 1 for 6 against Petit. We talked about the importance of that first inning. How about starting out by striking out Betts? He got this double play in the 2nd inning. That was important as well. And I was just impressed with how much he battled. That was important there, the pickoff as well. We talked about how he wasn't really even the co-star in this matchup. Yamamoto is a $325 million pitcher. Cody Petit signed a contract with the Yankees for $750,000. He did everything the Yankees needed him to do tonight.
There is no doubt, and it's refreshing when you watch a guy like Cody Petit as he gets his great ovation walking off the mound. He walked 3, he struck out 1. It just goes to show everybody you do not have to light up the radar gun at 96, 97. You can get away at this level and be very successful, hitting your spots, having some movement, soft contact, using the defense behind you, also being able to pick off a runner at first base. All of the things things it takes to be successful at this level. Cody Petit has done it and did it tonight. We talked in the pregame show. 5 innings, you'd be ecstatic. 4 2/3, solid.
One of the storylines going into this one, the fact that Ohtani had not hit well at Yankee Stadium, wasn't tearing the cover off the ball over the last couple weeks, Jack. But I thought Petit did a nice job handling him too. Betts got on a couple times with a walk and a hit by pitch, or a base hit, but he quieted Ohtani.
Flash talked about Yamamoto's fastball. Petit's got a sneaky fastball as well. He'll throw it up there in the mid-90s, and I think it was important for him to come out and challenge those Dodgers hitters, show that, hey, I'm in this game as well. I'm going to go right after you. Bob, the 3 of us were sitting in the press box, and in the second inning, we just showed that double play. He had a 4-pitch second inning. Talk about asserting yourself, coming right back after a first inning that was a little longer, 23 pitches, 4 pitches, and just doing a really nice job against those batters in the top of the lineup.
Jack, you just used the word challenge, and I'm going to say that Cody Petit probably said, I'm up for this challenge tonight, right? I mean, we can talk about his stuff. We can talk about his movement. We can talk about his location, but I think what he did tonight tells us what he has here. This kid's got heart, or not a kid, he's a veteran, but he was up for this. I think he enjoyed the challenge that Yamamoto got all the attention. The lineups get all the attention. He went out there and served himself very well tonight.
I think everybody to a man was up for the challenge in this. So let's take a look at the game highlights to show you exactly what happened in game 1 and why it had to go 11 innings. Highlights brought to you by your local Ford stores, as always. And let's start top of the 5th. Again, 2 runners on. Shohei Ohtani at the plate. Victor Gonzalez brought in to try to get him out, and he does. Ground ball to the right side, first base. Anthony Rizzo beats him to the bag, and that ends the threat. 1 inning later, Michael Tonkin in the game now. Runner on first. Great sinker to get Jason Hayward to ground to second base, and that would end the inning. So let's take it up to the top of the 7th, another inning for Tonkin.
We talked about Aaron Boone and some of his bullpen decisions. Well, he got 5 outs from Tonkin in the middle of this game, and none bigger than Mookie Betts right there. Great job by Tonkin.
Jack, next man up out of the bullpen was Caleb Ferguson.
Yeah, the bullpen is rolling at this point, and here's Ohtani at the plate. Caleb Ferguson is able to come in there right now with the 4-seam fastball. Ohtani lifts it to left field. Verdugo is there to make the play.
2 batters later, 1-2 count. Nasty sweeper to freeze Will Smith. And that ends the 8th. As we take it to the bottom half of the 8th inning, Judge up, Blake Trinan on the mound. And after a great 10-pitch at bat, he walks him on an outside slider. And that brings up Giancarlo Stanton.
And again, Trinan has that good sinker and a good slider. Stan had a good swing, but the movement on the sinker was just enough to get that lazy fly ball to left field.
Clay Holmes got into last night's game, threw 20 pitches to close it out. Jack, he was in the top of the 9th.
Comes in, Clay Holmes, this is what he does. 3 ground balls in the 9th inning. That last one right there to Pajes, the ground out. He collects the out at first on the throw from Rizzo.
All right, so back to Ian Hamilton now as he gets Kike Hernandez, the 9-hitter, to ground into the fielder's choice, and then he'd come back out again for the 10th.
Yeah, and again, Aaron Boone had some decisions to make with his bullpen guys. He chose to bring Hamilton back out there. This is a hot shot at Anthony Rizzo that he makes a nice job hanging in there, getting to the base. A huge out, a huge play from Rizzo.
So let's get to our turning point of the game, brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. And there's a couple runners on here, and Hernandez coming up.
Yeah, and this is the pitch that we talked about at the top of the show. The Slambio is Hamilton's go-to pitch. He threw 2 terrific slider Slambios to start that at-bat. Got ahead 0-2, but I'm sure Ian Hamilton, if he speaks in the clubhouse, he'll say that middle slider was not where he wanted it to be.
2-1 game, Aaron Judge up. That's a base hit. That's going to get him back within 1.
You know, in the 11th inning, you had Judge up there who drives in a run. You had your big boys up in the 11th to try to make something magical happen. They just going to fall a little bit short.
1 swing of the bat with Stanton could win it or tie it.
He stares at the fastball right there, Bob, and then the final at-bat is going to be Rizzo, who's in a deep slide right now. And Rizzo on that fastball pops it up in foul territory. Ramirez is pretty excited. Smith is pretty excited. All of the Dodgers are excited.
Offensively, you couldn't talk about a better scenario having, as you said, Flash, the big boys coming up, Stanton and Rizzo a chance to potentially get you a win.
Yeah, and you're thinking with Juan Soto out of this lineup in the 11th inning, here comes Aaron Judge and Stanton, and you're thinking maybe one of these guys is swinging the bat can tie it up. They showed some fight in the 11th, just came up a little short.
I want to go back to the bullpen because this was Flash's key on the pregame, and how key did the bullpen end up being for the Yankees, and the buttons that Boone pushed. Now, they lost the game in the 11th inning because of what happened with Hamilton right there, but before the 11th inning, Yankee relievers had retired 16 of 19 Dodgers, so just continuing to pass the baton, and they weren't using their high leverage relievers. You didn't see Luke Weaver tonight. You didn't see Tommy Kahnle. You didn't see Holmes and Hamilton until the end. So it was Gonzalez, it was Ferguson, it was Tonkin, all doing a strong job.
All right, we're going to take our first break here on the WB Mason postgame. Got a lot more coming up from Yankees.
いかがでしたか？メジャーを代表するバッターを次々と打ち取る山本選手、かっこいいですね。このチャンネルは日本人メジャー選手に対する海外のインタビューなどの翻訳動画をご紹介いたします。ぜひチャンネル登録、高評価よろしくお願いいたします。